Hi everybody, my name is Laurie and welcome to the Full-Time Show. I've got with me my boy in the house, Turkish. What are you saying, bro?
All good, man. All good. 3 points, can't complain.
3 points, yeah. What do you think of the performance?
Yeah, one of our better ones. Maybe our best, one of the candidates for best performance of the season in the Premier League.
I would agree,
So
and
far.
the reason why I would agree with you is that we pretty much controlled that game from start to finish. And in fact, I'll go as far as to say that 2-0 flatters Brighton. That could easily have been a 4 or 5, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, very pleased with the performance. Good. I can't think of a single player that didn't have a good game.
No.
So I'm getting a bit of feedback on my mic.
So am I a little as well, hearing myself. So hopefully production can sort that. But
yeah, listen, people out there, please download the app and tap FANZONE to call in and let us know what you think. This is your opportunity to have your say. Give us your thoughts, your opinions. Were you happy with the performance? Could we have done more? Is there anyone that didn't play today that you want to see in the team? And vice versa, you know.
And it's not only downloading the app, people. There's a link in the description as well. You can download the app. I mean, there's a lot more to the app than just FANZONE.
Absolutely.
So the app's worth downloading. It's a free to download app. But in order to take part in FANZONE, sometimes people might find it a bit long going through the app. Just hit the link in the description. Top line of the description. There's a link there. Click that and you'll have access.
And please let us know your comments. Super chats are always welcome, of course. My boy Turkish is monitoring those. But yeah, please let us know what you think, because I personally think that was, I agree with Turkish, that was one of our better performances today. I'm not sure whether I would say it's the best. I know James was waxing lyrical, saying it could have been the best performance. He may well be right, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah, it's up there. I mean, the final third was a problem again, I think, because we should have comfortably beat them. You said, I think, 2-0 flat as Brighton.
Yeah.
I think it should have been more. I think we should have had the lead going into half time. So aside from that, which has been kind of a running theme at points this season, I know we've had big wins this season, like the Sheffield United, PSV, 5-0, 4-0 and so on.
Bournemouth 4-0.
Bournemouth's another one. But we've also had games where either chances are few and far between, or we're getting an abundance of chances but we're not finishing our dinner. This, in my opinion, was the second week in a row that we're creating a hell of a lot of chances, which is good to see. It's exciting football. It's a bit more of that fluidity I wanted, but we're just not getting the goals that the performance and the chance creation deserves, because I feel like we should have beat Villa 3-1, and I feel like we should have beat Brighton today maybe 4-5.
No, absolutely. I mean, let's look at some of the stats for the game today. So we had 26 shots on goal compared to Brighton's 6. And even Brighton's 6, I can't remember too many clear-cut chances with those. Granted, shots on target was only 9 when you compare that we had 26. So that in itself tells you where we possibly went wrong. Our finishing could have been a bit better. Brighton had 1 shot on target. Curiously, and I'm really surprised to see this, but according to these stats here, which is sometimes why stats can be so misleading, this has Brighton as having more possession than we did. Now, I didn't see that at all, did you?
No.
Those must be the wrong way round.
No, it came up in the second half that in the first half we had more, second half they had more. But it looked like it's going to balance out. What did it end with, like 51-49? Yeah,
51-49. I must admit that I didn't see that.
It's the last 10-15 minutes. You know, when they started getting a lot more of the ball. I think that's what really tipped it in their favour.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm looking at it through, rose-tinted glasses. I'm a bit myopic, but even so.
Even the first half, when we deserve a lot of credit for that first half, the way we pressed. Brighton came out of that press many times.
Yeah, they did.
And they held on to the ball. Yeah, so even those moments where we're looking at Arsenal saying we're doing our thing here, Brighton had the ball a lot of those moments too. So Brighton, they're a ball-playing team.
Yeah, they are a ball-playing team. And I want to say this as well, even though I've said what I've said in terms of I thought we dominated the game and could have scored more goals, that's not to say that Brighton are not a good team, because, you know what I mean, like you said there, they can play out from presses. They have some good players in their team. They're well drilled. They're well coached. So that was a good win today. I'm not taking anything away from that win at all. That was a good win and a much needed win, because obviously we lost last weekend to Villa. We've got a very difficult game coming up, you know what I mean, next weekend. So it was important to get a win today, especially with Man City dropping points.
100%.
So this 100%. Was vital.
We've got to take advantage of that, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they got Club World Cup now as well, so they're going to miss the next 2 fixtures. So it's important to now we go in level on games played, but 5-point difference.
Yeah.
If we can, and I say win our next 2, one of those is in Anfield, so it's peak. But let's say we can get 4 points out of the next 6, and that includes a draw at Anfield. What does that put us? 9 points ahead of City before they even come back. Now, last season we flirted around 5 to 8 points with games in hand for City and whatnot. Being 9 points ahead, even with City having a couple games in hand, with the form they've shown this season, with the inconsistencies they've shown, I think it can go a long way in not deciding the Premier League, but deciding the favourites for the Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to say this as well, even though we've not even reached the halfway mark yet, to me, this season's title race promises, anyway, to be a more exciting one than the one last season, because last season was basically a 2-horse race. We were leading up until, City had that great run and we fell away at the end. But I think if you look at it this season, it could be City, us, Liverpool, definitely, and even Aston Villa may stay. I know some people may sort of look at that and say Villa, I'm not so sure, but they won again today. They came from behind to beat Brentford, who again are not an easy team. I reckon Villa might be in with a shout. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but I reckon they're definitely a potential top 4 candidate. And I think it's a thing where teams are going to take points of each other. There's going to be ebb and flow, peaks and troughs. Injuries are going to play a point in all this as well. So listen, man, I think it's all coming together nicely.
It is
2024, man. It's big
leading to the halfway stage. I believe we have some callers lined up, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, man. I'll be very interested to hear what they got to say. Who we got?
So we've got JR coming up.
JR.
Hey, Laurie, Turkish. What's going on, guys?
What are you saying, JR, man? Talk to me, man. I hear that you got some concerns about our attack or the way we counter.
Well, I was happy with the amount of chances we created today, but my concern is when we get these fast break opportunities, it's like we're not capitalizing on them, and I mean, we did get a good one today because, I mean, that pass by Eddie was fantastic, but there was a couple of chances before that, and I'm seeing the guys getting, at least a 3-on-3, and we've got the quality to beat 3-on-3, but we're just not taking advantage of it. And, moving forward to this Liverpool game, which I'm kind of watching now, if we don't take those chances, we might not get any opportunities. So that's definitely kind of like my real concern for today. It's like I don't know, the chemistry there is just not flowing, not picking the right final pass, not dragging a defender to release somebody else. But I mean, other than that, it was a good game. Yeah,
I agree with much of what you said there. I think at times we were guilty of dwelling on the ball a little bit, overplaying when there should have been a shot there, or cutting back when the cross should have gone in. And even sometimes when the cross went in, you're looking for someone to attack the ball. They weren't quite there. So yeah, I do agree with that. Turkish?
Yeah, I mean, we was a whisker away from it being 1-1 before we scored the second. So
that would have been a travesty, by the way, if that
it would have been. It looked like it hit the back of the net. I mean, for that split second, my heart did sink in that moment, because I thought, fuck's sake, we done it. We fucked it up.
I thought it was in. I mean, I think at the 70th minute, I'm like, man, this is feeling like a bloody draw. It only takes, and you look at the statistics as well. I mean, Brighton technically were in the game. They weren't creating chances, but they weren't out of the game, and it's like Villa, we need to put these guys to bed early. Send them with their dummy back to sleep. We can't continue to give teams chances like this. I mean, we definitely created. And I know you guys are giving Martinelli a lot of heat. I felt he had a good game today. I just still feel that Zinchenko is not giving him those overlaps to make him get more isolations. But the isolations he got was fantastic.
Yeah, I thought he had a particularly good second half. First half, he was decent, but second half, I thought he was really good. Yeah, so.
You think by first half, Laurie, how many times did he really get the ball? And he was very direct when he did get the ball. I find, a lot of times our attack keeps going in the same direction a lot to Saka and back, that's why I said the last time I called, if we can get those connections again, like Martinelli and Jesus had in the beginning of last season, man, we'd be devastated.
Yeah, you know what you're saying there about it being slightly predictable that it was all going through Saka. You're right, because I felt exactly the same thing. I'm not sure, I may have even said it on the stream, but I did notice that. And I've put that down to maybe they were looking at Milner being the weak link, because obviously, you know, he's very experienced, but he's also getting on a bit. What is he, 37 now? So you're thinking that Saka up against Milner, that's gonna, you know what I mean, create a lot of problems for them, which it did prove. I mean, I think they took Milner off in the second half as well. Milner got a card, so he was on tenterhooks. So I think maybe that might have been the reason why so much of our attacks were going down the right-hand side. But yeah, I do agree with you. We do need to find a way. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but you know the funny thing, right? And I wanted to say that a couple of times I've been trying to get on. I find, you know, I'm a definite lover of Arteta. I love the management team, the way we're working right now. But one of the things that I'm really frustrated about is when we have a defender, right back or a left back on a card, we don't take advantage of it.
Yeah,
we don't attack that person.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, why don't we do that?
No, yeah. Good points.
Being a bit more ruthless.
Yeah.
I think that's what the answer is. Does it come with age and experience? Maybe, but maybe it needs to come with some signings as well. I think that's
yeah, absolutely.
I think that cutting edge is needed, that experience, that, you know, I think Rice has brought quite a bit of that, even though he's young. That we need a bit more of that. I completely agree.
But listen, thanks very much for your call. We've got quite a few people waiting, but yeah, man, some very good points made. And
St.
call back
Lucia
soon.
in the house, gotta say
St.
that.
Lucia, yeah, big up to all the St. Lucia man.
Pissed off I didn't mention St. Lucia the last time, so St. Lucia in the house.
Come on, big up
all the
St. Lucia, man.
people. Nice
Take care.
Catch streets, man. Then. Big up.
All right.
Take care.
Nice one, my bro. Have we got another one lined up? Michael smiling, happy as always.
Happy as always. Just a point about Declan Rice and then a quick poem about Saliba.
Go for it.
What's strange about Declan Rice is that he does things that you teach kids not to do, that he sticks his leg out very far to control the ball. And he's able to do that because he got so much upper body control over where the defender is that it's like the radius of his power over the ball is much wider than most other players do. And it's something strange to see. It's wonderful, but it's the way that Rice always uses his long legs to nick the ball off or to nutmeg a player and ends up accelerating into the midfield. You know
who else used to do that with long legs? And who does that remind you of?
Vieira.
Long legs, yeah, Vieira.
He's got a bit of Gilberto there as well, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he's not as accomplished as Vieira on the ball, but in terms of the physicality and winning tackles and, like you said, getting them long legs and nicking the balls off players, Vieira,
I think he's got that
famous.
Presence in the midfield of Gilberto, and he's got that box-to-box
element
of Vieira.
Yeah.
Even though Vieira used to glide along the pitch, and for such a big man like Vieira to glide, it looked like poetry in motion. Whereas Rice is kind of like a bulldozer, but they're both very efficient in taking it from our half into their half. So yeah,
I thought he had another very good game as well by today. I actually had Odegaard as my man of the match, but I thought Odegaard had a very good game on his birthday. Shout out to Odegaard on his 25th birthday. But I also thought that Declan Rice was right up there with that performance.
Yeah, I mean, look, in a game like this, it doesn't seem like the defense is doing a whole lot. But I really think that so much of our dominance in the midfield comes from the fact that we're really able to park the bus with only two center backs. And I think a lot of that it's Gabriel's playing very well, but a lot of that comes from Saliba and the fact that he's absolutely comfortable with his own stillness. Yes. You know, that what makes a Rolls Royce is not that it roars, but that it purrs. And all the power and speed and maneuverability somehow sits inside this quiet hum. And unlike what we used to have with Mustafi and Socrates and David Luiz, he's not throwing himself to the to the floor. He doesn't have to. He just sort of waits in stillness for his man to make the first move. Absolutely. And if you've ever seen The Seven Samurai, my favorite character in that movie is Kyuzo the swordsman, who's this quiet guy who gets attacked in duels and slightly shifts his position and then thwack. And it's because he's absolutely still. There's only the most subtle of adjustments to his opponent that he controls the entire space around him. He's like a time traveler 2 seconds ahead in the future. So it's like almost like a poker player who sees the other player's cards and knows what he's going to do, already ahead of time, and the result is always so obvious. Yeah. There's a German word in chess called Zugzwang, which describes the advantage of not having to move. And for me, this is why Saliba is so much better than the center backs we've had over the last 5 or 6 years. Is that he waits for the opponent to commit, and when he makes the recovery tackle, it's like the result is always already obvious. So when we're able to flood the midfield with 8 men, and Zinchenko and White go forward, and Declan Rice is able to get forward, all that fluidity ultimately comes from the fact that we've got this comfortable stillness at the back. And that's what I love about watching Saliba. Not that he's making spectacular plays, but that he doesn't have to.
No, that is an excellent point. That is an excellent point.
Right.
And I saw a stat the other day which suggested that Saliba's only been successfully dribbled past once this season. And when you consider the amount of games he's played this season, that is phenomenal. And I would also say that a lot of people, myself included, have mentioned the word fluidity and us not looking that great going forward. Maybe that might be true. However, at the back, we're certainly more resilient and stronger at the back. And I think if you're going to win titles and things like the Champions League, that's all based around having a good defense. And Saliba, let's face it, even though he's the junior partner in terms of age and experience, he is the main guy, really, isn't he? I mean, I'm not denigrating Gabriel in any way, because he's been great too. But Saliba is the rock of that.
Right. I'm just saying that has good consequences for our offense as well.
Yes.
If we know that we've got like 2 center backs taking care of business, we don't have to worry about sending White and Zinchenko forward, and that's somehow going to cost us on the counter. Mm-hmm. 'Tis better that the enemy seek us, so shall he waste his means, doing himself offense, while we, lying still, are full of rest, defense, and nimbleness. Top of the league. See you guys later.
That's a great way to end that call. Thank you very much, Michael.
Nice.
Good. See you later.
Mans. Always look forward to
it.
Yeah.
I always come after that creative guy, and this doesn't look good.
You've both got a way with words. He's got his own way and you've got yours, and they're both just as effective as one another. But Mans, hit me with it, man. What are you thinking about today?
Excellent performance. Very happy. Everything I've been asking for in the past weeks. Wingers getting involved, fullbacks getting involved, penetration, transition, all these things were on top today. The only thing that wasn't on top is the finishing, and I think we would have blitzed them in the first half if we had our shooting blitz on, because Odegaard again, very good performance from him in terms of getting involved, but sometimes overcomplicating things in the last third.
Yeah, I think sometimes he dwells in it a little bit, doesn't he? You think, come on, shoot, and then he takes that one extra touch.
He had that excellent shot. I'm pretty sure that shot in the first half from him was going in. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Somebody put his head. I'm pretty sure it was Dunk, because he's been clearing everything the whole game.
Yeah.
So
Dunk today reminded me of a primetime John Terry. I don't know if you remember John Terry.
Yeah, seriously. He was annoying me at some point, clearing balls off the line from corners and all that.
Yeah, there was one occasion when he got hit in the unmentionables, went down, and then he got back up, and then the next minute he was clearing the ball off the line. Amazing defending. But anyway, carry on, man.
Huh?
Yeah, carry on. I agree with you about the performance.
The performance was good. I thought we worked on our corners as well. Martinelli, almost every corner was almost trying to fool the keeper the entire time. Complicated life for him as well. We scored from a corner in the first goal, so the set pieces definitely became more efficient for us. No, I thought it was a good performance. Brighton are a really annoying team. It's like when they come to play us at the Emirates, it's just like everything goes their way, and I didn't have a doubt in my mind that we were going to score at some point, but it was just like, because it's Brighton, anything can happen. Yeah. And anything almost did happen, because they didn't have any chance the entire game. Didn't have one shot on goal. Well, there was one. Yeah, they had one shot on target that Raya just picked up, and then they almost equalized, and that was very sloppy from us too. Yeah, it was. It's almost but looking forward, we all know we've got a massive game next week. Liverpool. Yeah. Based on what you're seeing today, how confident are you that we can go to Liverpool and get something? Confident.
No, I think I'm in that.
I think we can get all 3 points there. I know it's Anfield. I know it's a magic stadium. I know even at their worst, they were 2-0 down to us last season and still managed to come back to 2-2, almost won 3-2 in the end. I still think we can go there and play our game, and I still think we can win the game. We're on a good run. We're top of the league at the moment. Anyway, I don't know what the scoreline is, I think.
No, I'm with you on that because I think that defensively we're solid, very solid, and it'll be interesting to see actually how the likes of Saliba and Gabriel and those guys cope with Liverpool because
we've got the best defender in the league and we've got the best DM in the league, in my opinion. Both very, very, very top players. 2 world-class players we've got are probably Declan Rice and William Saliba. Why? Because not just because of the strength, not just because of the typical things that you attribute to defenders and DMs, but because of the intelligence, because of the football IQ, the ability to be there in the right place at the right time. We almost take it for granted with Declan Rice now, but he's just every time he drives forward as well.
Yeah,
he drove forward by himself today, almost scored actually. These players, probably one of the few times overall in football I look at it and I'm like, 100 million, yeah, that's more than worth it. It's just
Turkish, you got anything on that?
I thought it was a very good performance. I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling confident ahead of the draw tomorrow as well. I think the Champions League draw, very important. I think we can take anybody on. So, and the Liverpool game too.
Yeah, Turkish.
I think the Liverpool game's going to be a massive one. Liverpool game's going to be massive. I think we've got to strike the right balance. I think last year, part of the reason why we went 2-0 up was last year we not relied upon, but we rode the whole youthfulness wave, if that makes sense. Go out there, excite, be free, open up, run into space, want the ball. And I think that put us 2-0 up. But I think the same things that put us 2-0 up cost us in the end and resulted in the 2-2. And really, we escaped with a point. Really, they should have won that. It's Ramsdale wonder saves that kept that a point. I think we've got to strike the right balance in terms of, as much as we say Saliba, best centre-back in the Premier League this season, I tend to agree. Van Dijk's been the best centre-back in the Premier League over the last 5 years. And they've got the best right winger in the league. They've got the experience in there that I really do feel like it's going to be a match of experience against youth. But the way Arteta set up the team this season, he's not riding the youth wave. He's using younger players to play a mature style, a mature controlling style. It's going to be very interesting to see if that works at Anfield. But I do want us to have that kind of, being able to open up and being a bit more free flowing like we have been over the last couple of games.
Okay. I think we can be brave. Going there. I'd just like to throw a small little apology to Arteta. I tried to give every player a chance, no matter who we sign. And I just didn't give any chance to Kai Havertz, and what he's been doing for the past 5 games, I think it cannot go unnoticed. Not just his goals, the way he contributes in his play. He uses his height, uses his power. He's finally he adapted well to the team.
Yeah,
so I think he it's not like he stands out as the bad guy. He actually one of the best performers, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. He had another good game today. Scored, of course, but I think it was James.
And an excellent finish as well.
Yeah, and I think it was James who said it. Credit to James. He's looking like someone who's starting to belong. You can see that, you know what I mean? He's starting to fit into the team and do his thing really well. But listen, man, thank you very much as always. Great
always
call.
A pleasure, guys.
Look forward to speaking to you very soon. Thank you. Cheers.
I think we've got Tunde coming in as well, new caller, I believe.
Yeah,
Tunde.
Hello, guy. Yeah, I've been following this for a while now. And
where are you calling from?
I'm actually in Alicante, in Spain.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, right. I'm on holiday there.
Okay.
So, yeah, big up for the boys. They did us proud. And Turkish and Laurie, yeah, well done, guys, for
Thank you,
what you've been doing. All
Appreciate
the content I'm watching forever, Snare, Turkish, Lee, Jake, and Jordan. Yeah, basically, regarding the game today, I felt that, we made it tough on ourselves. I thought we should have actually nailed it, the title. So I hope they're looking at getting us a striker in January if that's possible. And I really need someone to be taking all those chances we create.
In terms of the title,
title,
in terms of the title, just wanted to ask you a quick question there. Do you think it's a 2-horse race, 3-horse race, or maybe even 4? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, you can't really count out Man City. They probably will come back. They might be stuttering now. And I think it's going to be about 4 race now, because we have to reckon with Aston Villa. They eking out the results. Even against Brentford, you think they're going to drop points. Yeah. And they nicked it late in the game. And that's one thing about having a good striker, really. Someone just taking the chance. And I feel that it's really, I mean, it's so tight at the top if you look at the points now. I mean, I'm looking at our stats compared to last season when we were free-flowing. I know Turkish has been saying that, is it of more control or being free-flowing? Is this, I mean, what's the manager telling them to do, whether to be much more, not just to open up and all that. And I feel that, I think as much as we want them to strike a balance, really,
we're losing them a little bit there.
But defensively, we've been doing very well.
Yeah, no,
but
I agree.
It's just taking our chances. Just, I think that's
we're losing it.
Yeah.
Can we?
And I can hear you guys. Can't you hear me?
Yeah,
you're cutting in and out. But
I can hear you.
Yeah. Just sum up very briefly going forward how you think the season will play out, because we do have a few other callers we want to bring in.
Yeah, I think we probably on the right track, but it's just that if we are going to take our chance this season, we need to, I mean, much more ruthless in front of goals, and all the chances we create, we have to convert it. And we have to look at all the teams we're challenging. If you look at Liverpool, they've got Salah, they've got players who can change the game. They've got Trent. Yeah. And in terms of our wingers, I think we need more from them, really. I don't know about Martin. What do you make of Martinelli in this game today?
I thought he had a very good second half. First half, he was decent, but I thought second half he was really good.
Yeah, I expect better overall, but second half he picked it up. But I expect better. Too much head down, not looking up runs. Not enough ruthlessness in the final third, in my opinion. And that's something that I've grown to, love with Martinelli over the last couple of years. Like he seems to be the one, or he seemed to be the one for me that at the front three would kick on and score 20 goals in a season. But the season hasn't started out that way, really, because both Saka and Jesus have more than him. So
he's still making his contribution, he's still playing his part, but I do agree with Turkish, he could be a bit more clinical. But listen, guys, we've got to move on. Thank you very much. I understand it was your first time. Make sure you call back next weekend when hopefully we'll be celebrating a win against Liverpool away.
I'll do that, yeah.
Take care today, man.
Take care, bro.
Enjoy your holiday.
You too. Thank you, guys.
Nice one. Thanks for the call. Next up, I think, is Dini. Yes. Yeah. He's there.
Who are you saying, Dini?
You look stressed out, man. Dini.
Oh, wait. My connection is really bad.
Okay, so shall we drop him out and bring him back in?
You can't even hear me, can you?
I can hear you. Well, we can't see you anymore. On this, since Havertz was brought up, there was a comment earlier, I think it's from Pradla. He said, "We will win the league." Turkish, do you still want more of Havertz? No, I don't. I want him to chill now for the rest of his contract. What kind of stupid question is this?
That's a weird one, man.
Of course, listen, Havertz has picked it up from where he, started off at Arsenal. He was very poor. Let's say the first 10 games, 15 games, so poor, offering nothing but aerial duel winning statistics after a game. Now in the recent weeks and recent games, he has picked it up. He scores a winner off the bench against Brentford. He starts games, he gets goals. But do I want more? Of course I want more, because even in this game today, what I want more from Kai Havertz now, listen, he's getting on the end of things. And he's only 3 goals away from Xhaka's all-time best goal-scoring season, which was last season. So he's on course to beat that. So for the 8 upgrade, I wanted an 8 that could, provide more output in the final third. He's on course to do that. That's fine. But there was also moments in this game, first half, where he picked it up just outside the box. Instead of kind of maybe driving in on goal, he plays a loose pass to Saka out wide. Second half, same thing. Instead of finding Jesus, who was running through on goal, he plays it behind Martinelli on the left. These are the things that Havertz needs to get better at. This ain't me moaning about his performance today. This is me...
What's the name of that guy?
Pradler. This is me countering what you're saying about do I want more? Of course I want more. And Christian also says Havertz is a baller. Now, I reserve the word baller for people that have the technical ability on the ball. What Havertz has done so far at Arsenal, and again, this ain't me dissing him. I'm saying what he's done in the last few weeks is provide output, but I wouldn't call him a baller. And I wouldn't say, I don't need to see any more from him. Of course, I mean, with Declan Rice, you can ask me, do I want to see more from Declan Rice? No, because Declan Rice gives more every single game. Havertz still got steps to take. A lot of people are talking like he's at the top of the mountain now. No, he's still climbing that mountain.
So that guy is Pradler.
Yeah.
So here's what it is, Pradler. Yeah. So with Turkish is very forthright. He's very honest in his opinion, and I spend a lot of time with Turkish at work, and we talk about football a lot, Arsenal a lot, a whole range of things actually, but that's by the way. But anyway, listen, so what I'm saying is I've got no problems with what you've said about Havertz, because guess what? I'm similar. The Havertz at the start of the season, bar the odd match here or there, was not really giving us consistency of performance. But to be fair to him, in the last 3 or 4 weeks in particular, those performance levels have picked up, his confidence has picked up, he's getting goals now as well. So the trajectory is upwards. So listen, yes, man, we have been critical of him in the past. However, he's now starting to put in much better performances. But of course we want more from him. We want more from everybody in the team, man. It's not perfect yet, because if it was perfect yet, we would have won all our games in the Premier League. So it's not just Havertz we want more from, it's everybody. So listen, don't get it twisted, man. We want all the players to do well. I mean, you've seen me and Turkish go back and forth about Eddie, for example. You know what I mean? We want more from everybody in the team, so including Havertz.
Didn't Havertz start on the bench against Tottenham, if I'm not mistaken? In the 2-2. Let me just quickly scroll to it right now, because I know he started on the bench against Man City. He started on the bench against Man City. So the 2-2 lineups: Nketiah, Jesus, Saka, Odegaard, Rice, Vieira. Okay. So yeah, he started on the bench against Tottenham and City, our 2 biggest games so far this season. Well, we've got our next biggest game coming Sunday. Yeah. He should be starting that game because he's on form, and that's where I want to see the difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's not me again disregarding. I'm not disregarding today or Brentford, because 3 points against Brentford is the same 3 points we could possibly win against Liverpool at Anfield. But what I'm saying is, the upgrade in this position, the money spent. Of course, now he's kicked on and we're finding better, more efficient output in the final third. You can ask someone, do you still want to see more? Yes, I do, because we've got a massive game coming next Sunday.
I think he was being sarcastic, but here's what it is. Like I said, we want to see more from everybody. I think the thing with Havertz was, to be fair to him, he came to the club, quite a big fee, 65 million. And even then, the jury was out, wasn't it? Let's be honest, because it's not like he'd done great things at Chelsea. In fact, if you speak to a lot of Chelsea fans, I've got a few mates who are Chelsea fans, they were like, yeah, bro, you can come and take Havertz all day long because he's not done very well for us. So he arrived at the club with a little bit of a cloud over his head. Let's be honest, you know what I mean? Let's not sugarcoat things. And his initial few games had been, let's be honest, had been underwhelming. I mean, I've been critical of him because I was saying I want to see him impose himself on games more. He hadn't been doing that, but, and this is a but, that I mean, the last 3, 4, 5 games, he stepped up, and week by week, he's doing better. His confidence is growing. He's chipping in with goals and assists. This is the type of performance that we wanted to see from him. So, long may it continue. But to be sarcastic and say, do you want more?
The last 3 comments in the live chat agree with completely. One of them here from Tim saying Havertz just needs to be more clinical and more efficient in the final pass. He-Man says Havertz needs to improve his weight of pass, but he's getting involved, which is what I want, 100%. And UD mentions, if Partey gets fit, who do you guys start at Anfield? That's something that slipped my mind, because if Partey is fit, do you throw him in for the ideal best midfield of Partey, Rice, Odegaard, or do you say he's been out for a little while?
I've already given this situation some thought.
Havertz is on form.
The first thing I'm going to say is I don't think Partey will be ready for the Anfield game. I think you're more likely to see him for when he plays against Liverpool in the Cup, if he comes back there, and that's on the 3rd of January. However, hypothetically speaking, had he been available, or if he's available,
Let's say doctors say Wednesday. Yeah, Mika, you can start.
I would still start with Havertz, and the reason being is that next week is a high velocity intensive game, and Partey, as much as an athlete as he is, I don't think he'll be up to speed yet to start. And whereas Havertz is already there, he's playing well, and he deserves his place. But anyway, let's move on to the next call. May Sam, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. How are you guys?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. So I take it that after today's win, you're confident about next week against Liverpool.
Not to be a downer, but to be honest, I need to see a little bit more control in our games to be confident, because when you go places in Anfield, it just at some point in the game, your backs are against the ball, and I'm just really concerned about the lack of control that I see in our games. Like even today, I mean, we were a millimeter away from 1-1. We need to be able, if you want to go get result in places like Anfield, guys, we need to have control in games. We can't just have this.
I thought we had control of the game. We just didn't kill them off in terms of goals. But I thought in terms of control of the game, did you not think that we were much the better team on the day?
That's how I have to say disagree with most of the analysts covering Arsenal these days, because people say control and they define it by possession stats.
Right.
The thing is, Laurie, you are going to have as much of possession stats as you want when the game is 0-0. Take into account the game state. And my point is, do I see Arsenal controlling the game when they actually are in a position that they want to be, i.e. they're defending a lead, or even they're in a draw. Like you look at Aston Villa, you would think I would take a draw at Villa Park. How long can we protect a draw? About 5 minutes in, we're going to concede. Yes, after that, you're going to have all the control, because Villa is quite happy with what you got, so they have no incentive to try to take possession off you. They're quite happy to sit back, and in 90% of the games that we play at Emirates, that's the case as well. People
yeah,
sit
I hear you.
back.
I wasn't so much thinking about possession, because actually, if you look at the possession stats, surprising as it may seem, but Brighton actually had more possession than us. I was more talking about the shots on goal. So using today as an example, we had 26 shots on goal compared to Brighton's 6. So in terms of, when I was saying like controlling the game, I was thinking more about that. We had large control in terms of the amount of chances we created. But then, yeah, you're right. We need to be more clinical. Turkish, have you got anything on that?
I'm with you. I think I'm with you as well in terms of, I think we are a more controlling side now, but our problem earlier on this season is we control teams but don't create enough chances to see the game off, or we score a goal and then we lose control, which I think kind of happened today. I think initially today after we scored, we carried on pressing. It looked like we was going to go for the second, then all of a sudden it looked like we lost a bit of the control. More recently, we've been controlling games, but we're failing to finish our dinner, like against Aston Villa, So you're right in a sense where people, and this is one of the frustrations I have with fans, especially online, that use this argument. Possession stats for control. Possession is not the only form of control. A team can have 70% possession and lose a game 3-0. So would you say that team controlled the game? I think control comes with different metrics. It doesn't have to be the same metrics for one team to the next. We can control games in a different way to Man City or different ways to Liverpool. But I think so far this season, we haven't found that right balance yet.
But what I would say though, in terms, and again, it's nothing to do with possession, it's more about shots on goal. I think, see if you agree with me here, is that you're always more confident or more hopeful if your team is creating chances. I think if you're not creating chances, then that's when you have more worries. So taking today as an example, if you create 26 shots on goal, you should be scoring at least 3 or 4 of those, really. At least 3, I would have thought.
Can you think, let me question back you on that. Can you think of, before going 1-0 up, because when we went 1-0 up, I think it really opened up. But before that, we were having a lot of shots, but I didn't feel that Brighton was massively threatened.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and it's not just, I don't want to talk just about this game, because I think during the whole of the season, I feel that we are having a lot of possession at the time that opponent do let us to have that possession. Still, if you go to Anfield next week, start 0-0, you keep the possession and the control of the game to the extent that you did Brighton, I would say fantastic work. But if you're facing like Wolves at home, they're gonna let you have control. They're not gonna have any problem with that. But again, we turn it into like a little bit of a scare at the end of it when Cunha scored that goal. We need to be like a little bit more experienced, a little bit more shrewd in managing games, because people like Liverpool, like Man City, they're quite experienced in that. And if we are challenging for the league, we need to be a little bit more concerned with that, and a little bit more killer as well. I take your point. We should never come to that, because
we can say we control the game against Villa, we can say we control the game against Nottingham Forest, and we control the game against Fulham. 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. We controlled all 3 games. Exactly. Control doesn't mean points, and points is what we're here for at the end of the day. But thank you, my bro.
Yeah, thank you, bro. In closing, where you calling from?
London.
Oh, okay, you're calling from London. Okay, well, listen, man, make sure you call back next week, when hopefully we'll be talking about an Arsenal win against Liverpool. Yeah,
sure.
Thank you very much.
It was great talking to you guys. Take care.
Have a good evening. Take care.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
I believe we got Deanie coming back on. You got the HD Wi-Fi ready for us, or what's going on?
They're dead to me. No. I've literally had a mare. Just connection problems cutting in and out. The phone I actually usually record off is this phone, and look how busted it is at the back. It's all cracked at the back. I don't know if you can see it there.
Yeah, I see it.
It's just been a mad thing, but we're here, we're live, just about.
Say no more,
Friday.
bro.
So, Deanie, what was your thoughts on the game today?
You know what? All these fan cams could have been different today, man. All these fan cams could have been absolutely different today, because up until 85 minutes, we were practically controlling the game. I understand what the last caller was saying about it depends on if you're winning or not, and this, that, and the other. I get it, but Brighton didn't trouble us up until that point where you think Pascal Gross has scored a goal, and it's in those moments where you're like, 5 minutes before that, Havertz heads the ball over the bar, and it's like, these chances we need to take, because it's moments like that where it's like, if that's next week against Liverpool and we don't take those chances, we will be cussing, because we will either come away with a draw or a loss. And it's like, that's another game where we've had multiple chances just to kill the game. Last week against Villa, we gave it a blind last week because it was a good performance and we just didn't get the job done. If that happened again this week, we would be very, very annoyed, because it's like, now it's a repeat performance. But we got out of jail. Gladly got out of jail. Gladly Kai Havertz scored again. And gladly right now we're sitting top of the league. Happy right now. Genuinely happy right now.
The only slight concern for me, and I'm pretty sure it's the same for yourself, I know it is for Turkish, having spoken to him so many times, is that the conversion rate could be better. So, for example, you look at today, we had 26 shots on goal, but only 9 of those were on target, and we only scored 2 goals. Now, I'm thinking, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're averaging like 26 shots on goal in a game, you should be scoring a minimum of 3, really, innit?
At least lower
26,
averages.
Because that's, you know what I mean? That's like nearly 1 every 3. So really, we should have scored at least 3. We didn't, but listen, I think we won fairly comfortably in the end, but you are right, we do need to be a bit more clinical. Turkish, what have you got on that, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I've said everything I've needed to say on the clinical stuff. I mean, the only thing I haven't said today is we need a new striker, but I've said that enough for people to know my thoughts on adding someone more clinical, someone that, has a higher conversion rate than all of our attackers, which shouldn't be difficult. Yeah, we haven't got no killers in the side. I think, like I said, I thought Martinelli would be on the road to being that killer this season, but he's output wise regressed.
Hasn't been up there yet.
Osherman, bring him in, man. Like, at the end of the day, I mean,
it's easier said than done now.
Yeah, is it? I mean, we spent 105 on Declan, so if they're asking for 110 or 120, I mean, have we turned the corner or not? Is this the new Arsenal or not? This is what we have to find out, because I didn't, wait 20 years for us to come to the point we're at now, back to challenging titles, to be linked with Dominic Solanke. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, Deanie, I was going to ask you, what's your views on that, bro? I mean, I don't know where this rumour started from. Is there any credibility to it or what?
like 5 years ago, we can't even entertain the idea of even trying to get an Osimhen because of where we were, because of the state of the club. But now we can actually have those conversations. And I was always someone as well as it's like, just at least why not test the waters, see what he's saying? Because people, even if you don't need to play for Arsenal. Arsenal are a worldwide team, and you're going to hear about Arsenal regardless of what they're doing, because you might have friends in your team that have friends in Arsenal teams, and everyone talks in football. It's a small network. It's like acting. It's like the music industry. Everyone talks, and everyone can see what's going on right now. So I don't see why not. I've always said I like Tony as well. Osimhen, it's like Osimhen and Mbappe are the ones where it's like, okay, I really want you to try for something. It may seem too far, but at least test the waters, because we have that about us now. We have the players in our team like Saka, Jesus, Martinelli, Odegaard, Rice. We've got players in our team that players want to actually play with. Players that actually perform on a world stage as well, on an international stage as well. So I don't see why
pretty
not.
Much every area of the pitch is on point, apart from the striking option. Pretty much every other area of the pitch is on. You could argue about the goalkeeping situation, it's still not quite
One more
right.
midfielder as well.
But the midfield has been good this season. The defence has been top notch. Strikers, we have good strikers, but as Turkish said, we don't have a killer. And I think if you're going to win things, you know what I mean, those top echelon things like the Champions League and Premier League titles, you do.
I mean, if Jesus transfers his conversion rate from the Champions League to Premier League, like Turkey said, we're laughing. We are absolutely laughing. Just play the Champions League music in the dressing room before the Premier League match, and Jesus is good, and we're all good, and we're all laughing. But
what I was saying, I did ask you earlier, what do you make of this rumour about Solanke?
Oh, sorry. Oh, you was talking about Solanke when you asked that question. My apologies.
Because you must have heard that rumour as well, right? I must admit that one caught me by surprise. My
question is, how much better is Solanke than Eddie right now? He may be more physical. I don't know. But I genuinely don't know. I don't even watch Solanke that much, and he's not even someone that was even remotely anywhere near my list. For someone even like Havertz as well, when even Havertz was coming in, Havertz was not a name that was not a player that's on my list. He's probably a good player. Could Arteta get something out of him? Probably yes. But is that the type of player I want us to be linked with right now? That's probably going to shoot us to a Premier League title or a Champions League title. I'm not sure Solanke is that guy. Yeah, I have to agree. I was surprised when I heard that rumour.
Yeah, man, drop me out of that, man. That feels like one from like 5 years ago or something. Like, please, man.
Yeah, okay. Maybe.
We've got to close up soon, Dini, but I do want to ask you before you go. Next week, massive game against Liverpool.
Big game.
Now, based on today and what you've seen over previous weeks, be honest now, do you think we could go there and get something?
Absolutely. We should have went there last season and got something, and for whatever reason, we know that we didn't. So, but I feel like in terms of how we are much more structured in our team, absolutely. I'm even more confident of going there this season than I was last season. That's my honest feeling.
Me too.
He should be confident about that. If we want to win a title, go Anfield, get 3 points. Simple.
Nope, I agree. I mean, last year we were 2-0 up and looked like, to all intents and purposes, we were going to win. I think I even said famously on stream,
you did,
game done, and then only to get those words to come back and bite me in the bum because but
it was season done.
What I would say is that this season we are stronger, certainly defensively. Turkish mentioned it earlier, the two centre backs. The holding midfielder situation is a stronger situation. So I'm confident, man. I think we can go there and at least get a point. In fact, I'm looking for all three. I see at the moment they're drawing with Man United as well, Liverpool. So
yeah, I think it's half time at the moment. And I feel like, and again as well, and I'm not sure if he'll get, maybe he might get man of the match. I'm not sure who anyone's man of the match was, but Declan Rice is going to be key in that game. He's just everywhere in midfield, and against Liverpool, if we win, he's absolutely going to be a big reason as to why we win that game. So
100% agree. He's a big game player, and next week is a big game. So that tells you everything you need to know. But listen, Dini, thank you very much as usual. Always
blessings every time.
Love, my bro,
and bless us with a call next week.
Take care. Thank you.
Take care.
Love.
Right. Oh, in closing, then, because that was our last caller. Your overall impression of today and how you perceive that going into next week. Are we in a good place?
Yeah, man. I think we're in a good place. Especially, I mean, all we have to do is look at City's form to be in a good place. I mean, it's not often that they drop points in this many games across the whole season, let alone 5 of the last 6. So I think that should be motivation enough off the pitch. I think on the pitch, aside from the Aston Villa one where we were considerably the better team in my opinion, I think things have gone our way. So I think, you know, even if we take what we done last season in that third, going 2-0 up at Anfield, we need, yes, it didn't work out at the end, but we need to take that on and know we can perform like that for 90 minutes rather than just the 45. So I think I'm positive about it. I think we can take something.
And finally, my question to you is a question that I've asked a couple of the other callers. Is it a 2, 3 or even 4 horse race?
A 3 horse race.
And those teams are?
Arsenal, Liverpool, City. That's how I see it. I can't write City off yet. I mean, if Arsenal or Liverpool dropped points in 5 of their last 6 games, I'd write them off. But there's something about City that you can't write off.
No, I'm definitely not writing them off. What I would say though is it's I think it could be a 4 horse race this season, man. Because I've been impressed by Villa. I mean,
impressive, yeah.
15 consecutive home wins, very good manager. The vibes are right with them right now. Even today, they went behind to Brentford, who are no pushovers, and they come back and beat them. Now that when you getting results like that, I mean, look at their last. They played us and City in a week and beat them both.
And then away at Brentford.
Yeah, and away at Brentford, they get a win. I mean, when you look at that, I mean, listen, you never know how injuries are going to go and loss of form. It's a squad game. I don't think their squad is deep. Yeah. But I think right now they definitely need to be taken seriously.
I'll wait till February for that. If they're still there around February, then I'll entertain it.
Yeah, okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. But one thing we do know is that we're definitely in a title race. Yeah. Arsenal are definitely in a title race.
But again, February is this. You know what? I think game week 20 is like the start of a title race because it's the first game of the second half of the season. Good point. Who's done what in the first 19, and then you kind of see it. But really, the business end is April.
Well, they used to have this saying that whoever's top at Christmas normally goes on to win the league.
Yeah.
But last year that was us, and it didn't quite work out. But basically what I'm saying, I actually think that the Premier League is a bit more competitive this year. And listen, man, I'd take that. I think the days of City just dominating could be over.
But it'll be pain if City don't win it and we don't win it. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. But then the last time City didn't win it, we didn't win it.
Yeah, I know, but so, I mean, they don't. It's not that they don't not win it often.
Yeah, that's true.
So if they don't win it this year and Liverpool win it, then what's our chances next year when Pep has another summer and some pain to work off? This seems like this is the year for Arsenal or Liverpool.
Yeah, let's hope so, man. Let's hope so. It's one thing for sure, it's all to play for. But listen, thanks, Turkish. Honest, forthright, and knowledgeable as always. Thank you to everybody who called in today. Thanks for everybody supporting AFTV as a broadcaster. As I like to say, AFTV is your one-stop shop for Arsenal content. Make sure you check out all our shows. We've got a great show lined up tomorrow. In fact, Champions League draw. We're starting about. We're going on early. I think the draw starts about 11 o'clock. So we'll be on just before then. But myself and Turkish, Robbie, James, Cecil will all be.
I ain't there. I'm off. But
oh, sorry, you're not there, are you? Yeah,
no, it's all good.
You'll be there in spirit, though. Yeah. So yeah, we will be going through that, assessing Arsenal's opponents in the last 16 and talking about the competition as a whole. Promises to be a great show. Make sure you tune in for that. But listen, guys, thank you very much. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We are out.